Hello everyone and welcome to the Border Battle Show. I'm your host Eli Merrick. A little bit different show this year, unfortunately, due to the Twins' horrible loss in the playoffs and the bad start to the Viking season. Bob has been so overcome with grief, he is no longer able to do the show, and in fact, he's sworn off sports altogether. It's a sad state of affairs. Please pray for him. Thoughts and prayers go to Bob. My co-host now is Tim Smith. You may recognize him. He was on the show a couple times last year. He is a Vikings fan and a Twins fan still?
Yeah, I'm still, faithful.
I feel bad. I feel bad.
Similarly crippled as Bob, we're making it. I would just like to add that you also may recognize me as guy walking down the street.
Yes, you're well known for that, actually. It's good to have you on the show. We're going to have a lot of fun this year. Obviously, we're getting off to a little bit of a late start, but 4 weeks into the NFL season, we showed up about the same time the Minnesota Vikings did. So
yeah, that's true. And we, we're still here and the Twins are gone. So
that's true. Yeah, let's open up talking about that a little bit. What happened to the Twins? This is now 18 consecutive playoff losses.
Well, I'm a Minnesota sports fan, so I could run you down every single excuse and exactly why this happened and why this shouldn't have been surprising and all that and yada, yada, yada. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know why it happened. I don't know why the 18 losses in a row happened. You could not have teed up, in theory, a better matchup. One of the first ever losing record playoff teams in MLB history.
Mm-hmm.
They've been performing terribly offensively all year, the Astros, and somehow they still sweep us in a 2-game series. The pitching showed up, which has been a problem in the playoffs for years for the Twins. Just the pitching doesn't show up in the playoffs. They gave up, I think of their 18 innings, 15 of them were 0-run innings against the Astros.
That's pretty good.
So it's at a certain point, it's just inconceivable.
Speaking of inconceivable, so the odds of this happening, if you just look at 18 games, postseason games in a row, which is the record in all professional sports of all time. No team has ever lost 18 postseason games in a row. This is incredible. You should be very proud. I'm proud for you guys.
We're setting records.
This is an achievement. Like the Twins set records last year for hitting.
Yep.
This year they're setting records for failure. It's pretty great. If you flip a coin 18 times in a row, which is a 50-50 odd, so not exactly what it would be, baseball win probability, but just blanket 50-50 to get tails or heads all 15 times, the odds of doing that is 1 in 261,985, which goes to 0.00038%. So very low odds.
Right. But remember, a game is not a coin flip. And there's other factors, and you can make more educated guesses. So once you factor in win probability and expected wins and all that, you get a number closer to 1 in 69 billion that you would lose 18 games in a row like that.
That's amazing.
That is incredible. Think about all the things that could happen in better odds than that.
Right. For example, you have better odds of being struck by lightning.
Struck by lightning, that's a popular one. You have better odds. That they always say, you're more likely to get crushed by a vending machine than get eaten by a shark. You're more likely to get crushed by an army of vending machines.
Do you know that you have better odds of getting drowning in your bathtub?
Yeah, you're more likely. You have better odds of having conjoined twins. Jeez. As a man.
Do you know that you have better odds of getting a royal flush in your first hand of poker ever than losing 18 straight playoff games?
Yeah, you have better odds of officiating a wedding of 2 twins born on leap day. On a leap day.
Jeez, that's amazing. Do you know that you have better odds of dating a supermodel than losing 18 straight playoff games? I don't. But.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
Variables.
All right. Yeah, I can get down with that.
You also have better odds of winning an Olympic gold medal. You specifically.
All right. Yeah.
Than the Twins losing 18 playoff games. It is ridiculous.
Dare I say the Vikings have better odds of winning a Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I don't think that's how that works.
Okay.
0 is still 0, Tim.
You ever go into a calculator and it's just error?
Yeah.
That's what happens. And you're like, what are the odds of the Vikings winning the Super Bowl? It's error.
Yeah, do you know you can't even do it in Madden? Like, you can try as hard as you want. You can't win a Super Bowl with the Vikings. It breaks down. Yeah,
unknown error.
It'll get to the last second of the fourth quarter and just crash.
If you boot up Madden 06 on your Xbox 360, you get the red ring of death instantly as soon as you start a Super Bowl game with the Vikings.
Yeah. You got anything else on the Twins other than their absolute ineptitude and miracle working?
I think it's a testament to the very Minnesota brand of failure. We're not the Browns. We don't just go out and lose every year. That's too mainstream. That's the normal kind of failure. No, we give you hope. We have good regular seasons in and year out just to disappoint you in the playoffs.
It's really unfortunate. Do you think it's like a psychological thing at this point? Like, it's got to just be in their heads.
So I think you look at the different iterations of the Twins rosters that have gone to the playoffs. I think you kind of have this pattern of, like, they go in, there's expectations that, oh, this will be different. Then they experience the failure. Then they come back, and then it's more psychological.
Sure.
And I feel like that was very much felt this year. Like, last year, it was like there were other things going on, and the Yankees were a much better team than the Twins.
Right. To be fair, most of the time it has been the Yankees.
Yes.
Most of those losses.
And then this time, we're like, we didn't have, there was a lack of energy, and I think that's the one other thing with the Twins is, like, I think that this will finally light a fire under Twins fans to say, hey, we need a chip on our shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing that gets you out of this kind of thing. It's just like, we need a chip on our shoulder. We need to just make a statement, and we can't just be like, you know what, we're good, and we'll just ride on those laurels.
Do you think that's all that needs to change, or is there more changes that need to be made to the Twins, I don't know, roster, coaching staff? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think there are some changes that can be made to the roster, but that more just has to do with players aging and financial things and stuff. I think that isn't the issue. Like, we had a good roster. We had one of, like, just about everyone said we had the second best lineup in baseball.
Right. You were coming in with almost the same roster as you had last year that set all the records.
Yep. And there is an argument to be made that, well, how much did the COVID season affect things? That's with the offense, and you'll never know. So it's hard to not say run it back. But it's also, you do need to make some changes. But I don't know that alone is going to make the difference. Like, I think it's not a system change. It's not a coaching staff change. It's not a front office change. It's a mindset change. It's just we need to have an attitude of Twins baseball reflects Minnesota sports in general, which is just happy and optimistic. And it's great. It's a good, cozy place to be in.
I don't understand it at all.
But you need more of a chip on your shoulder attitude sometimes. And
yeah, you can't be going into the playoffs with Minnesota nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Right. Although, I don't know, the Twins, they're pretty used to losing by now, so they're probably, like, how disappointed did the guys look? Was it like, did they look devastated, or was it like, oh, we kind of we've seen this coming?
Empty. It was just so empty. And I don't know if that was me projecting onto them or not.
Right.
It just felt so, it was the same old tune. Same song, different verse, man. But hey, at least the Vikings are trending up a little bit, right?
Right. You won a game. Can you believe it? The Vikings started out the season 0-3. Obviously, we haven't got to talk about any football yet so far, so there's a lot to catch up on. Vikings started out 0-3, looked awful, looked like the worst team. I was excited to see Trevor Lawrence in purple. That would have been pretty fun. Get some more quarterback competition going in the NFC North.
The dream's not dead.
That is true. You did beat an 0-4 team, the Houston Texans. But the Vikings looked decent doing it. It was definitely a turnaround. I think the issues with the Vikings are mostly on the defensive end. Your offense looks solid. You got good wide receivers, actually. Justin Jefferson has stepped up and played very well.
As a matter of fact, by the highly acclaimed Pro Football Focus, we have the two best wide receivers in Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Pro Football Focus ranks them as the number 2 wide receivers through week 4. Or top 2, not number 2.
What?
Yeah.
You can't be serious. Number 1 and number 2?
I don't make these rankings.
Who does? They need to be
some
fired.
Other Vikings fan.
What is going... Did, like, Zimmer come in and infiltrate the Pro Football Focus, like, headquarters and type in some numbers and fudge some stuff? There's no way Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson should be 1 and 2.
Been this trend of the Vikings seeming to get better rankings in Pro Football Focus over the years. And people might say that's Vikings bias. I think it's more of a cruel joke against the Vikings. It's just like, hey, look, you guys are good. Ha 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 ha. Get happy. Ha 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 ha.
That I can't believe. Like, your wide receivers have played well. I don't think the quarterback play has been particularly good from Kirk Cousins through 4 weeks.
Yeah, maybe they're just saying that it's the wide receivers are carrying Cousins more than anything.
I guess in the games I've watched, I haven't been impressed with the ability of Thielen to get open. Jefferson has stepped up these last couple of weeks, and it has impressed me a bit. I mean, Thielen's Thielen, but he needs some help, and I think, I don't know, 1 and 2 though.
Yeah,
That's it. Devontae Adams, granted he hasn't played, but like,
yeah, Thomas injured.
we all know he's better.
All right,
Michael Thomas is injured. Okay, that's, I guess all the guys. But where's Hopkins?
Hopkins is 4th, I believe.
Okay.
It's the third one is just as confusing. It's Tyler Boyd of the
Bengals,
which is just as confusing.
I guess I haven't watched much of Tyler Boyd. I try not to watch the Bengals as much as possible.
I can only go through so much heartbreak. I'm not gonna do that too.
Don't you have like the kindred spirit thing going with the Bengals a little bit?
Not with the Bengals.
No, okay.
Which I don't know why that happened. It's just some teams it just doesn't work out. Man can only take so much heartbreak. You can't have kindred spirit with every unsuccessful team. But you know what? We're 1 and 3, and I read today in a power ranking that we could be the most dangerous 1 and 3 team.
Who else is 1 and 3?
Let's take a look. The 1 and 3 teams in the NFL right now are the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay, Justin Herbert, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
He looks pretty good.
They got Keenan Allen.
Their defense is so garbage. I'm gonna say Vikings they're better than the Chargers.
All right. Denver Broncos.
Yeah. The Broncos are destroyed by injuries. It's unfortunate.
Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, they're a joke.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Also a joke.
Detroit Lions.
I'm very interested to see how you guys play head to head.
Yeah, I want to say the Vikings will win, but like I have no confidence.
I think you split this year.
That's
that's the safe bet, but I feel like you guys split. What's the Lions record right now? Are they 1 and 3?
They're 1 and 3. That's why they're.
Yeah.
That's why
they had so many close games though. They could have won those. That's the classic Lions.
I was gonna say that's the
classic Lions. They just choke leads, just fail in the last minute. They fail almost as spectacularly as the Twins.
Yeah, on a game level, it's like a microcosm of Minnesota sports failure, Detroit Lions failure.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's weird how it just surrounds Wisconsin but can't penetrate us.
I think it's
we're kind of the best.
You just have the Packers and the Bucks now, but mostly just the Packers.
Well, the Bucks failed pretty spectacularly in the playoffs recently. And Brewers sure didn't do anything this year.
No.
So.
But at least their expectations are lower. Anyways,
yeah.
Cowboys are 1 and 3.
Okay, Cowboys suck. Their defense is absolute garbage. They won't be able to stop anyone all year. Same with the Vikings though. But the Cowboys have the advantage of being in probably the worst division in football. They get to compete with the Eagles, who are in first place in that division with a 1-2-1 record, and the Washington football team represent. You're wearing the shirt, you can't really see it, but Washington football team, go team! And then, of course,
Team Nation.
Team Nation. And that division's awful. The Giants might be the worst team in football. They're going to win that division with probably a 7-9 record.
Yeah, it's rough.
So I gotta give the edge to the Cowboys just because. What is a more dangerous team? A team that's guaranteed to make the playoffs, or a team that might play spoiler later in the season?
That's a good point. The Cowboys do play the Vikings, and I'm gonna make an interesting food for thought. I don't know if I'm gonna call this a call.
Okay.
It's food for thought. Is Mike McCarthy just gonna go hard on the Vikings?
Just go off.
He's like, I know how these guys play. And just go off. Turn Dak Prescott into Aaron Rodgers.
If you look at McCarthy's record against the Vikings with the Packers, it wasn't actually all that great.
Yeah, no, it's just a familiar ground kind of thing.
Yeah.
More than anything.
I just don't think he's that good of a coach. Sorry, Mike. Love you.
That's an interesting take. Football team, also 1 and 3.
Yep. They're garbage.
Okay. That's all the 1 and 3 teams. So
okay.
The Vikings are the second best 1 and 3 team, according to Eli.
Congrats. Are you proud?
I don't know. It's something.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Vikings' chances for the rest of the season? Can they turn this around? I mean, you lost to the Packers. You beat the Texans. What were your other games?
Titans, which we just absolutely blew. We had that game, and we're just like, you know what? Matt Ryan called. He wants his failed lead hold back.
The Titans are a good team. They're undefeated. I mean, they didn't get to play their game last week, so they're 3-0.
In my mind, there was only one bad game, and that was against the Colts, where we lost 28-11. That was just, we laid an egg.
I think the Colts are a good team, though, too.
They are a good team. I just feel like we've been running on our offense this year, win or lose, and we just didn't show up that day. So
yeah, I think unfortunately for the Vikings, a recurring theme this year is going to be the defense just isn't good enough to keep the Vikings in games against good teams. The Vikings will be able to compete against bad teams. Your offense is good enough that it can put up points. If Kirk Cousins, can play moderately well, he threw a lot of picks early in the season, but if he can hold that down, get Dalvin Cook going, he had a very good game against the Texans. You have a good offense.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I just think the defense doesn't have enough talent. You lost everyone.
So what the Vikings would need to be the kind of offensive team they're kind of mimicking is they need someone like Cousins is fine, and some people like him, some people don't, whatever. He's not the guy who's going to win you that last minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're always within one score, It's like a 34-37 game, whatever, right? So it's like, okay, go get that last touchdown. Do you trust Cousins to do that on any given drive? No, you just don't. And Dalvin Cook takes too much time running, and so it just doesn't work. That's the issue with running on offense. We need the defense to be better.
Yeah.
But I think the Vikings can be playing for a playoff spot at the last week of the season. That's the most optimism I can give right now.
Okay.
And the reason I think that is because I think there's some W's in this schedule. So let's take a look at the schedule. All right?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I like this.
All right. So next week, a tough one. We play the Seahawks in Seattle.
That's a loss.
All right. Next after that, we host the Falcons.
They're a little bit of an underrated team. That's a loss.
All right. And then we go to Green Bay.
Definite loss. That's probably going to be 45-0.
All right. And then we host the Detroit Lions.
Probably a loss.
We go to Chicago.
That defense kind of chews you up most of the time. That's a loss.
We host the Cowboys.
That's a loss. Cowboys will be turning it on, getting ready for the playoffs by that point.
We host the Teddy Bridgewater Panthers.
Probably a loss. Is
host
McCaffrey going to be back by then?
Maybe. We host the Jaguars.
Chip on the shoulder, chip sharing a chance, Jaguars win.
We go to Tampa Bay.
That's a definite loss. Tom Brady will just go ham on your defense.
We host the Bears.
Another loss. The Bears always beat the Vikings.
We go to New Orleans.
That's a loss. The New Orleans will be like fighting for a playoff spot that they thought they should have had at the beginning of the year. That's a definite loss.
All right, and then we we go to Detroit.
Detroit won't be playing for anything, so you might win that game.
All right, so let me quick 2-14.
That's I can't wait for Trevor Lawrence. What do you think?
I'm a little more optimistic. I'm going to run this real fast. We lose to the Seahawks. We beat the Falcons. Lose to the Packers. Beat the Lions. Lose to the Bears. Beat the Cowboys. Beat the Panthers. Beat the Jaguars. Play a close one to the Buccaneers. That's a coin flip. We
really?
Beat the Bears. Beat the Saints. Beat the Lions. That puts us, I think, at 9-7 or 10-6. And that's why I think we're playing for a playoff spot in that last week.
That's pretty optimistic.
It is pretty optimistic, but it's...
You could turn it around. And like I said, I don't think... The way the Vikings have lost their first 3 games is more concerning than the fact that they were losses.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. They looked awful. The Vikings have not looked good other than this Texans game, and that was even pretty shaky. There were moments that were like, oh, especially on defense. But I mean, losing to Green Bay, Indianapolis, and Tennessee, those are all winning teams.
Yeah.
So I don't think your season is over, but thankfully competition in the division I don't think is that hard either, except for the Packers, which are the best team in the NFC. But you have a chance at a wild card if things go right.
The question is, and Viking fans are going to hate this, and I kind of don't want to bring it up, but is it worth it? Should we just take it? And I know you're like, well, you just said we have a chance of turning it around. Yeah, I know I said that. But if we're a 9-7 wildcard team and we really think we're going to have a shot, we're a 9-7 wildcard team, we're going to be on the road, And we're gonna be a lower seed. We'll probably face like the Seahawks, Saints, or Packers. Do you like any of those matchups? Maybe you like the Saints, but I don't.
Yeah, that's a good point. But
So
let's be fair. If we're going by that metric, should any team in the AFC try this year? We all know the Chiefs are going to beat every single one of them.
yeah, that's fair. Except not all those teams are the Vikings. Like,
Yeah.
given the Vikings' track record, maybe we should just aim for higher and go get Trevor Lawrence. But you know what? Enjoy the ride. If we get hot, enjoy it. Don't get your hopes up. Just enjoy what you get. How about your Packers?
Packers, okay. The Packers might be the best team in the NFL. Just mind blowing over there. Okay, we're undefeated. We're going into our bye week. We're going to get healthy. That's been the biggest story so far, is the Packers' ability to win through injuries. We haven't had Devontae Adams almost all year.
Yeah, but that's like the only significant injury, correct?
Well, we've had some injuries on defense. We had Kirksey go on IR.
You've been relatively...
Devontae Adams.
Okay, no, I will grant you Devontae Adams is a major piece in that offense.
Yes, he's the
you
best wide
haven't had
receiver
a lot
in the
of
league.
injuries. You've had a significant one.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Well, Lazard's out too.
Yeah.
He played the first 3 weeks and then was out week 4. He's on IR, probably out for the season, core surgery, which is really unfortunate because he was, I would say, the rising star of our offense. Aaron Jones is already considered elite by anyone that knows what they're talking about. Devontae Adams is borderline best receiver in the league, depends on who you ask. I mean, there's a couple high...
Michael Thomas.
Yeah, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins. He's right there in that class.
You forgot Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson.
Oh, sorry. My bad. According to Pro Football Focus, Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. Hope you're happy, Vikings fans. You got something going for you. The way the Packers have looked, none of the games have even been close. Granted, I don't think we've beaten anyone all that good. Vikings win, not that impressive.
Okay.
Lions win, not that impressive. Like, Lions aren't any good. Win over the Saints. Saints were my Super Bowl pick at the start of the year. I'm going to revise that. Drew Brees just doesn't look the same, and their defense is garbage. And without Michael Thomas, their offense is only Kamara. Like, every single play was Brees looks, I'm so scared, check down to Kamara. That was their entire offense, the whole game. They just don't look like that good of a team. So put an asterisk next to that one. Maybe they turn it around. That looks like a good win by the end of the year. I don't know. And then a win over the Falcons, who are... What are they, 0-4?
Something like that.
Yeah, they're 0-4. They had 2 games that they should have won, massive leads, and they choked them, but it's the Falcons. What do you expect? Yeah, they did the Falcons thing. So, all of our wins have been against teams with losing records. We have a bye week. We're going to get Devontae Adams back, then we play Tampa Bay. This is going to be the real determining factor for if the Packers are a Super Bowl contender this year. I think right now it's impossible to look at the NFC and not have them in Seattle as either 1 or 2. And it's so awesome to see the quarterback play of the top quarterback so far this year. Rodgers has been ridiculous. He looks absolutely unstoppable. He was straight up perfect against the Falcons. 4 touchdowns. He had 5 incompletions. He had almost more incompletions than he had almost more touchdowns than he had incompletions. No turnovers yet for our entire offense. On offense, we look absolutely unstoppable. Granted, it's been against bad defenses. So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah. I'm very optimistic about the Packers' chances this year. But I'm going to curb my enthusiasm a little bit until we play some good teams. If we beat Tampa Bay in a blowout, Packers are winning the Super Bowl.
Wow. But no.
Okay.
Seahawks are by far a better team in the NFC. Second of all, as much I will burn myself to make a counter argument.
Okay.
You played no one good.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, you did say that, and that is a very important factor. Come on.
Yeah.
The Packers can look good against bad teams. That's fine. Whatever. It's a cool thing to do, I guess. But I mean, get through the stretch of playing the Buccaneers, the Vikings again, the 49ers, and the Colts.
I'm only scared of the Buccaneers and the Colts of those teams that you mentioned.
You're not scared of the 49ers?
No, they're banged up. they're a shell of their former selves.
Yeah, but
if they get healthy or something, but
You're in San Fran.
the way they're playing right now, they're not a scary team. Sure, that division's good, but they're like probably the worst team in that division right now.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, by the way they're performing,
Yeah.
I think once they're healthy, they'll look a lot better.
Yeah,
So,
we'll
I
see.
don't know. I think the Packers are gonna settle at around 10-6, 11-5, but once it's all said and done.
What?
They're gonna hit some bumps in the road.
Oh.
The other factor for the Packers is they have the first bye of the year.
Yep.
Which means they're going to have a lot longer run than like everyone going into the end of the season, which is rough. If you start the season, you go 8-9 weeks, then hit a bye, that's good. There's a good balance in there. Or if you're like, I think the Buccaneers have a week 13 bye, you heal up right before the playoffs. NFL rigged that for Tom Brady. Yeah, it's a lot better. You have an early bye, you're just going to have a long stretch, and it's going to be brutal by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. I think Packers' schedule is pretty forgiving as well. Is another thing to keep in mind. Like I don't see the Packers having a worse record than 13-3 this year. Like I don't see more than 3 losses on the schedule. Okay, let's say Tampa Bay is a loss.
All right.
It's definitely a possibility. Tampa Bay is good.
Yep.
I don't see us losing to the 49ers.
You lose to the Bears once, and then I say you lose to the 49ers.
I could see us maybe losing to the Colts. The Colts have a very good defense.
That's 4 losses.
What? Where are you getting 4?
Colts, Bears, Buccaneers, 49ers.
That's such a stretch. There's no one else good. We play
Vikings
Titans. Titans in week 16.
Vikings might win in Green Bay.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Do you know that it's
we're getting
it's been almost 700 days since the Packers have lost a division game?
We're getting coaches fired.
You got Bill O'Brien fired.
That's right. Bill O'Brien, the GM and head coach of the Texans, got fired after basically J.J. Watt led a revolt and just said, "Get out of here, Bill."
Yeah, Watson looked so overjoyed after they lost to the Vikings.
Yeah.
I think they were. I think that's the only reason why the Vikings have a win right now. The Texans were tanking to get Bill O'Brien.
They're going to get Trevor Lawrence, and then Watson's going to be like, "Wait, what? No, I was the chosen one." Speaking of though, I think that brings us to our brief Bills news segment.
Oh, okay.
So,
why are we doing a Bills news segment?
Because of Bill O'Brien.
So,
and
okay.
the Buffalo Bills, who are 4-0, and if you
Oh,
really don't
I get it. A
believe,
Bills. Nicely done, Tim. Nicely done. Bills news segment. Okay, hit me with it.
yeah, so Bill O'Brien got fired. We
Yes.
covered that. And if you are a disgruntled Minnesota Vikings fan, and you don't believe they're going to
Which you should be.
and you want them to tank for Trevor Lawrence, and you don't want to watch any more Vikings games, let's go watch the Bills together. They're 4-0. They look great. They got a former Vikings wide receiver in Stephon Diggs, who, for whatever reason, Vikings fans thought was cool to dunk on the fact that we have the 2 best wide receivers and act like we don't need Diggs when we do.
I do think that is a big reason why the offense looked very clunky at the start of the year. I think they're starting to figure things out a little bit, get Jefferson involved, but
If Jefferson can get involved, the Diggs loss might not sting as much, but I still miss Diggs.
yeah, there's something to be said about losing a big time wide receiver like that. Look at the Texans. DeAndre Hopkins is gone. They can't score any points on anyone, and a superstar level quarterback, or people thought he was superstar level quarterback. He got the money. Deshaun Watson suddenly looks incredibly average. I think big time wide receiver play gets a little bit underrated unless you have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers that can throw to some guy named Robert Tonyan for 3 touchdowns. Packers just make it work. But
Best tight end since what's his face back in the day.
Jermichael Finley, is that where you're going with that?
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. It's
Yeah.
the best Packers tight end since then, and they had Jimmy Graham and what's his face Bennett.
Bennett. Oh, you mean Mercedes Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Names, whatever.
Yeah, great tight ends.
Yeah.
Absolutely, just the best. The Packers are the best at tight ends. Anyways, go on about your Bills. Why are they the bandwagon choice for Vikings fans?
Well, it's just kindred spirits and all that. Both teams are 0-4 in the Super Bowl, and both teams are from up north. It feels like home, except it's not home because it's the Bills.
Do you think Greg Norwood and Blair Walsh are close?
Yeah, I bet they go out in the field sometimes and still miss field goals together.
Do you think? Okay, so just picture Greg Norwood, Blair Walsh. They go into the bathroom together and they have to go to urinals next to each other. Do their streams cross?
So they have to line it up. Either they both Because either they both go into the middle urinal, or they both like miss off to the side.
Oh yeah, they're both on the side. Okay, you got 3 urinals. You got Blair Walsh. You have Greg Norwood. They both pee into the middle urinal.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That works great. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
I like it. Bills should be the bandwagon choice for the Vikings. I give my blessing. Abandon the Vikings. Abandon Mike Zimmer. He's a horrible coach. He should be fired. Abandon Kirk Cousins. He's getting overpaid. Abandon Dalvin Cook. He's overrated and probably going to get injured. I'm sorry.
You ready for this?
Go to the Bills.
Forget this take right now.
Okay.
The Vikings will trade Kirk Cousins and then trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Wait,
Forget
what?
this take right now. Forget it. You'll never hear it again, but I said it.
That's such a dumb take. That's like Skip Bayless level stuff.
Right?
Good job. Good job.
Anyways, speaking of taking things, who are we taking for a game this week?
Okay, so for this year, we're just going to be picking the Vikings and Packers game. So Packers are on bye. We get Devontae Adams back next week, and we're going to take on Tampa Bay, which should be fun. But it's a break for us. So we're just picking the Vikings game. It's Vikings at Seattle. Sunday night football should be pretty exciting, except that this game probably won't be close at all. The Vikings are 7-point underdogs on the road.
+7?
It's -7. Seattle's the home team. So yep. So yeah, what do you think, Tim? Can they cover the 7 points against the red hot Seattle Seahawks and MVP candidate Russell Wilson?
So they're gonna lose the game.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Let's throw that up.
Don't
I
get your hopes up.
agree.
They're gonna lose the game. So that's a loss. Can they cover the spread? The reason I think they can cover the spread is because they've been displaying offensive firepower. So I think they'll cover the spread. It'll be really close, but they'll cover the spread. So they'll lose the game, cover the spread.
Okay. I completely disagree. Seattle's going to blow you out. Seattle's too good. They're not quite Packers level good, but they're good. They're the second best team in the NFC. Russell Wilson is playing like an MVP. Him and Aaron Rodgers should, Aaron Rodgers and Patty Mahomes are just on another level right now. Josh. This guy. It's ridiculous.
Well, you're the one saying the Packers are better than Seahawks, so who's really ridiculous?
They are. I wish we got to play them. Maybe in the playoffs.
You don't play the Seahawks?
No, NFC Championship game maybe. That'd be fun. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, NFC Championship game, and then Josh Allen and Patty Mahomes in the AFC Championship.
No matter what
Imagine
happens,
that. That'd be fun.
There's been enough bad blood between those teams where whatever happens, there's just going to be.
There's going to be pandemonium in the streets.
That's going to be lots of hot takes there.
Yeah,
it'd be fun.
Okay, I hope that's what it is. Yeah, it's going to be a blowout.
Speaking of NFC Championship games,
yes,
I do want to get this out there for the world. My Super Bowl pick, Bills Seahawks. Seahawks win. Okay,
that's spicy. Bills have really impressed me so far this year. I wasn't super high on them going into the season. I thought the Patriots were probably going to cobble together enough wins to win that division. I thought they'd be a 9-7 team. They look really good. Their defense is solid. Josh Allen is looking like a pro. I don't know if it's the addition of Stephon Diggs or what's going on there, but man, he looks good. They are just firing on all cylinders. They're not Chiefs good, but I could see him competing with the Ravens. I think they're right there. It's hard not to say that they're the second best team in the AFC right now.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Bills are fun. Watch some Bills games.
Yep.
But sorry, the Chiefs are far and away the best team in the NFL. This is like when the Warriors had everyone that was good in the NBA all on their team. And, you go into the year and it's like, oh, who are the Warriors going to play in the NBA Finals? Who are they going to beat?
And then they lost to the Cavaliers. That's all I have to say. Listen.
Okay. I can't wait for the Packers to upset them in the Super Bowl. This is going to be great.
Listen.
Packers,
I'm not
Chiefs, Super Bowl. I'm picking Chiefs to win right now, but hey, crazier things have happened.
That's such a... Anyways. I'm not saying the Bills are a better team than the Chiefs. That's not how football works. I'm saying that the night or day or whenever the Chiefs play the Bills in the playoffs, the Bills will have enough firepower to beat them. Josh Allen will make the one throw he needs to Diggs to win that game. That's all I'm saying.
They'll get the Buffalo Miracle. It will be in KC, Kansas City. Kansas City
meltdown.
meltdown. I was trying to get some alliteration going, but that's fine.
Kansas City can't.
That's what they'll call it for the rest of the time. Good one, Tim. Well, that brings us to the end of the Border Battle Show. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll be trying to release episodes weekly to react to all the action in the NFL, and we'll talk some other sports too. But I don't know, baseball's kind of over for our team, so
yeah.
Well, not the Yankees. In case you didn't know, I'm a Yankees fan, so good things.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.